विश्रामपछि स्वागत छ डेप्थ न्युजमा। दर्शकवृन्द, आजको डेप्थ न्युजमा हामी नेपाल भारत विद्युत व्यापार सम्झौताका विषयमा एनर्जी डेभलपमेन्ट काउन्सिलले राजधानीमा गरिरहेको विद्युत व्यापार सम्झौता सम्बन्धी छलफल यहाँहरूमाझ प्रस्तुत गरिरहेका छौँ। अबको क्रममा हामी छलफलको त्यही बाँकी अंश यहाँहरूमाझ प्रस्तुत गर्छौँ।
We don't really need a PTA, we just need the president to come in and give a speech. That'll be fine.
Yeah, but I mean, the question is the trust after that, the rules will not change.
The institutionalization of that.
The 2 rupees that import license, import tariff, which has been removed for the time being, may not come back later on.
Yeah.
So if you have an agreement, then it is binding for both the governments.
But let me ask Mr. Thakur, he led a big, large public limited company, which obviously is very accountable to his many shareholders, and he signed a 150 megawatt deal with the power is flowing, and he didn't ask for a PTA. What gave you the security that you could do that deal without jeopardizing or risking your potential investors in the company?
Well, we secure when it comes to financing of the company or the project, you have to have what is called the payment security and also the security for implementing the contract that you are signing. So you have to have both. So if there is a default of the contract term, then there are ways of getting around it. Similarly, if there is a payment problem, then there are ways to getting around it. And we incorporated all that into the PPA. So there was no issue on that. There was no issue on that. And we also thought, as I said already, we also thought that by supplying this 150 megawatt, we will be able to give that power to Nepal, and in turn, we will get power from Nepal during the wet season. Now there was a very strong argument coming from NEA, and maybe you would be aware of that what happens, because our agreement was for supply of 150 megawatt around the year, 12 months a year, and round the clock basis. Right. So what happens when Nepal doesn't need that power? Then maybe PTC would still be insisting that you take this power and pay to us. So I volunteered and I said that we will buy back this power whenever you are in surplus, and that was also incorporated in the agreement. We have never done it in India. Mind you, for no Indian project, for no Indian PPA, we have done this kind of a arrangement where we are obliged to buy back power when you don't need it. But in case of Nepal, we made that exception because we appreciated that during wet season you may not need this power, and you may be suffering from that fear, which we have already talked about, the sense of mistrust or distrust, whatever you call it. That what happens in wet season if India refuses to buy power, then you will be surplus and PTC will ask for that money. So therefore we said no, we will buy back, and that was incorporated in everything. The point short point I'm making is that I agree with him that we need a kind of umbrella agreement for demonstrating the larger commitment of the government on the two sides. That the governments are committed, therefore through government the people are committed that there will be power trade between India and Nepal without any hurdles. So for that you need this kind of umbrella agreement between India and Nepal. But as Mr. Thakur already has said, that even today the trade is taking place without this agreement. But you don't have that sense of security without this agreement that this will continue to be so. And that is why this agreement is required.
Yeah, so okay, the agreement gives us a sense of additional security that private investments will be protected. So let me ask you, if you were considering a big investment in cross-border trade, whether it's a transmission line, a position on a plant, whatever, what would you want in that agreement that is not already covered in agreements in the two countries? So what do you require to take to your investment committee and say, look, as far as we are concerned, from a reasonable point of view, the risks of trade between the two countries are protected?
I think we require a couple of things, basic principle issues to be incorporated in the target agreement, which would provide us the sufficient level of comfort for doing this. First is open and non-discriminatory access to each other's markets. speaking on behalf of both of these, possibilities here. For us, it's very important, from being in Nepal, we need to have.
Can I just pause there? Because I think those are very important terms. Can you just, for the benefit of those listening, explain that a bit more? Open and non-discriminatory access.
Right. I think it's simply, if I can put it, is basically we should be allowed to participate in the Indian electricity market, not only the exchange but also the long-term markets, as any other Indian hydropower developer. That's the basic premise that we would like to have in this whole context. So that we can participate in the exchanges, we can participate in the various price bidding mechanisms that the Regulatory Commission in India has been incorporating. We just want to have a level playing field with the Indian hydropower developers. So that yes, we will definitely have to be competitive, and we are willing to do that. We will be competitive, and we will be we would like to access the market on equal terms, equal footing. The other thing that is very important is to have a framework agreement which provides a stable regulatory framework, so that there are no surprises at later dates. Even now, when I use the word non-discriminatory, there is a possibility of reintroducing this import duty or import license in the absence of umbrella power trading agreements. We were, basically advocating to get that removed, because that was a trade barrier. 2 rupees per kilowatt hour for supplying to market, which is willing to pay 3.5 rupees was a non-issue. That none of the projects would have flown in that case. So stable regulatory framework for the long-term investments that we are making in Nepal.
So, our team is there, as you know,
Yes.
Discussing this PTA, and they're going to come back with an agreement that will give you all of these things. So when are you planning to invest $2 billion in cross-border trade?
I think
Next Monday.
Yeah, definitely. We are looking forward to that. We are looking at some large projects like that. And one of the key concerns we had was the lack of a power grid agreement. The others being the cross-border transmission line and the framework within Nepal itself of this project development agreement that we have been talking about. But I think things seem to be moving forward. And yes, with the recent visit of Prime Minister Modi, everything seems to have gained momentum, and we seem to be heading towards successful conclusion on this issue.
So, Mr. Thakur, just picking up on the points that he said, open, non-discriminatory access, stable government policies, sense of security. But, in some sense, India is as complicated as we are, if not more. They are a federal structure. I think we're trying to get there. But the rules in India, the PTA will be signed at the center. And the power sector is actually a dual subject between the center and the state. So, but our transactions have to happen with the states. So how does that work? Is it really binding on the states?
As far as the 2 points which have been raised by Dr. Saha and Mr. Sankya about the import duty and export duty, that is matter of the federal government. But the states have nothing to do on that.
Right.
So, levying of duty on export and import on the government of India decides, so the states will not be able to do that. Therefore, if government of India says there is no levy of export and import duty,
So if the center says I'm not doing it, then it's done.
it is done. So there is no issue on that. As far as non-discriminatory open access to the grid is concerned, that's the law in India. That's the law in India. Under the Electricity Act 2003, any power supply or any off-taker of power will have non-discriminatory open access for the grid, except subject to grid constraint. If there is no grid capacity, then nothing can be done about it. So it's subject to grid constraint, which is the law in India. So once you are going to India to participate in the power supply or power purchase, then you automatically get that. Nobody can discriminate against you. The question is that you should be allowed. Now, you are already allowed. The next question comes that if by through some kind of mechanism, government can make it difficult for you to come to India, as has been cited, that 2 rupees of import duty. makes some of the power plants unviable for selling power in India. Right. So that has to drop. That has to drop. So that is why I think this PTA is needed. That's to give you a larger comfort that government of India or maybe government of Nepal also would be bound by this. So either government of India or government of Nepal would provide assistance, will provide to smoothen things than to make things difficult for power trade between India and Nepal. But subject to that, I don't think PTA will have any more details or any more language or whatever you call it. So PTA will be only defining that there will be no obstacles from either government for the trade of power. And then the individual project will have to find its own path, will have to find its own supplier of power if you are buying power from India. And then, as I said already, that whether it is generation power, or generation project or it is transmission thing, everything depends on the market financing. And market financing will happen only when you have PPA or for transmission agreement and things like that. Those are matters of details. But the larger intent should be covered by this PTA.
In how you successfully able to deal with certain states, and will the PTA actually change something fundamentally from a day-to-day operation point of view?
I don't know about the PTA, what will be there in the PTA.
Right.
When
We
it
can only
comes
guess.
tomorrow. But yeah, there is a difference. When you're talking about, let's say, Maharashtra or Haryana, or you know, the other states, they are at the developed. I mean, the regulation is a very developed state. Although Electricity Act 2003, of course, as you said, there has been a different pace. They have adopted that. And unfortunately, our neighboring states, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, they have been the laggards in the matter of deregulation. But they are going in it. And recently, they have learned that Bihar has the PSEB has unbundled and transmission units are going to separate, and therefore we'll have very predetermined wheeling charges should be known to us. Then we can decide whether we want to buy from Jharkhand or we want to buy from some other states through Bihar and bring it to Biratnagar or the metro. So I think we have to wait for these two states to come along, and no matter the PTA, whatever the PTA is, I think we are more reliant on what is the state of development of the regulation in India, and then comes the PTA. Of course, when we want to deal and have a long-term contract. One thing I want to touch here before what Mr. P. M. Thakur said. This PSA, Power Sales Agreement that we have with PTC for 150 megawatts for 25 years, RTC, of course that was the building block for the transmission line between Muzaffarpur and Ghaziabad. And that precursor to this PTA, so it already clears a lot of grounds. If we were talking about PTA now and the transmission line was not there and it's going to be in the future, there would be so many fuzzy things. Now we would be wondering how we would go and what. But we already have a lot of things answered by that Power Sales Agreement and that Ghaziabad transmission line. A lot of things are clear. The PTA will only make it certain that this is the way things are going to go in the future for all other Ghaziabad transmission lines.
नेपाल भारत विद्युत व्यापार सम्झौताका विषयमा इनर्जी डेभलपमेन्ट काउन्सिलले राजधानीमा गरेको विद्युत व्यापार सम्झौता सम्बन्धी छलफल आजको डेप्थ न्युजमा यहाँहरूमाझ हामीले प्रस्तुत गर्यौं। आजका लागि डेप्थ न्युज यही सकिन्छ। भोलि नयाँ सन्दर्भका साथ उपस्थित हुनेछौँ। माउन्टेन टेलिभिजन हेर्दै रहनुहोला। नमस्ते।